or something.
And America lives for another week or two. I don't know. It is the SideQuest live. The day after, I am just my throat's gonna go out on me. The day after Independence Day in America. I am Dolly. I'm like doing a super weird jazz hands thing. Don't ask. I'm Dolly Domofsky. Joining me as usual, the double JJ Holder.
Yeah. I'm back.
There,
I'm back
yes,
from the
you
heat
are.
wave. Yeah,
You survived the heat wave. How was that 190 degree weather?
I as a fat guy, it's never great. It's
Been there.
Yeah.
Been there. Yeah, we were up at the cottage for the holiday, and so I'm red right now in the video. This is actual skin tone for me. It's not like the color.
Yeah,
like
the balance
that I'm using.
fucked up.
The balance, your balance is not fucked up. Everybody else is normal. I am a lobster right now.
Do not adjust your television screens.
Do not adjust. That person talking right down there, Taylor at Taylor Bliss. Bliss.
What's up?
How's it going?
That was great.
That's good. No, all right, good to hear, man. Good.
How's everybody else doing?
We're fantastic.
That's super.
That person down in the corner there, Zach. Okay, Quest. I like that. You guys kind of. He stole Taylor's. I should do Dolly at Dolly Domofsky as well. Just
I would just take up the entire bottom of the screen with.
Well, it's great to have all of you on this beautiful. What day is it? Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Friday.
Yeah. It feels like Sunday.
It does. I agree.
Well, it's good to have you all back, and to chat about games. Feels like it's been forever, even though our shows have been on Sundays for the last few episodes. But because we missed yesterday because of the holiday, it is what it is.
It's been 8 days since we've done this. Oh, I can't believe it.
Wow. I am 100% just focused on Zach's dog. That's all.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Look at it. The dog's like, you didn't announce me, Zach.
Yeah.
You still you guys still got some fireworks by you?
No, it's been quiet today.
That's good.
Yeah.
I got some going off by me right now. My dog is unfazed though. Actually, don't know where he is.
Sam used to sell fireworks up until last year.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Sam had fantastic
I
summer
that.
stories. He's like, well, we're not selling it this last year. We're not selling it this year, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. And legit, I don't know if he sold any this year or not, but he was a fireworks salesman in the summers. Hey, so we're going to have fun. We're going to talk about games. We're going to talk about news. We're going to talk about all the fun stuff. We do kind of typically start with news. It's been a very slow news week, so I'm just going to blast through a couple headlines. If I'm missing something, let me know.
Hold on. Let me just pull up gaming news of the week real quick.
Gaming
news of the week.
Is there a website? You know what? We should start the website or make a website address, Gaming News of the Week, and have it just redirect to SideQuesting. Anyone want to go first? I have two things that are kind of newsy, but not really.
Drop it. What do you got?
Remedy Control is getting a spin-off co-op game.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That thing.
I have no idea how to feel about that.
Bad.
Yeah, my initial feelings are not good though. when 1/4 of the press release is about the ongoing revenue opportunities of a new spin-off co-op PvE thing, I'm like, I'm not particularly enthused.
So it is who's creating it for them? It's 505 Games. I'm staring at it. 505 Games is the publisher. Obviously, Remedy is a developer. It's codenamed Condor, a new players versus environment co-op multiplayer game. Player versus environment.
Did you know that that's what PvE stood for, Dylan?
I always thought it was player versus enemy. But maybe I was waiting.
Enemies are a part of the environment.
I guess. Yeah, you know what? I've seen burning holes in the oceans over the last week, so I can believe everything. So yeah. Anyways, Control. I mean, Taylor, you really liked Control.
I did.
Hey,
I really like
this
Control.
is perfect. We're gonna keep Stefan's comment up there because it hides Taylor's face.
Good.
There we go.
I do not want to look at myself anyway.
So you like Control? What?
I mean, I want more of everything to do with Control and kind of the world that they built there.
Just not that.
It's just that the way that the press release for this is worded does not give me great hope. And yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't. It did not mention any of the things in the press release that described any part of what made Control particularly good or interesting. And you know, I don't know. I didn't feel like the target was people that played the game for whatever business reasons they made it for. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm just going to pretend and forget about it until the thing exists, and then I can judge it then.
Yeah, until there's a trailer explaining what the fuck the game is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool! It's a division.
Yeah.
Well, Zach and I mean, we kind of spitball a little bit on it on the side where your first thought is in the Control they set up a whole foundation, and there's a lot of opportunities for kind of what are traditionally like NPC style allied characters in that game that could easily fill in a role where you fill up a squad and you go try and do the shit that the main character wouldn't do, to whether it's to subdue enemies or whatever have you. It's just that like that's not what I'm interested in. Like that's not. I didn't play Control to do the grunt shit. I mean, who knows? Remedy's a good developer, and they make Control, and Control is very good. So, like I said, I want to be overly pessimistic just because they worded a really, really boring press release.
Yeah,
but I am.
Like, I think, like I said on the Discord, like there is, as for something that's so influenced by the SCP Foundation, there is SCP Foundation stuff that this can play into, but I just don't know if that makes for an interesting video game, because there is like the squadrons that go out there and neutralize secure, contain, and protect from whatever crazy fucking god has made its touchdown in Jersey this week or whatever. But I don't think that's what this video game is going to be. Yeah.
Well, I think the hardest part for me on that is that especially in SCP, those characters exist basically to die.
Yeah, if you're if you're a D class, you're an ex-convict that's being forced to go out there and just die for the sake of this foundation.
And so it's just like, I don't want all of a sudden those characters to become protagonists, because I already have a place where they exist in my mind, and I'm not looking to change it. But like I said, it could always be a good game.
Yeah.
It's it's probably decently far off. And it's also not what I'm just glad that we didn't get, and it didn't turn out that this is like the Control sequel. That would be devastating.
Yeah. They made it clear that this wasn't the sequel. Just
I would be gutted. That would actually.
We are making a sequel to Control, and it's going to be a multiplayer co-op game without a major star, because you're the star.
Please, God no.
That sounds great. They actually did announce like a sequel-ish or another game in the Control universe, but that's going to be bigger than the
Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, there you go, Alan Wake 2. I do have other news that's actually great. That's phenomenal news that I think is right up the same alley of totally will not disappoint anyone. The Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters launched this month on Steam. And it's that font, that fucking font.
I can't. They have people that they pay. And
are you sure?
Money. I think. It's just so bizarre, because like we again in the SideQuesting Discord, we kind of went back and it was like, so many of these games have been iterated on so many times in pixel form.
Yeah.
And you almost unanimously throughout 1 through 6, there is a better version than what is being displayed
Yeah.
in all of the media so far for what is coming to Steam and mobile only.
Legit.
It's just weird. It's just kind of weird because it feels like they already had better versions, and so why try and standardize them on an inferior version to any of them? It's just bizarre.
For $100.
Yeah.
Was it
All
70
six.
something bucks for all
Yeah,
six?
for like if you
It's-
buy them bundled together.
Yeah, it's like it's $70 on sale for 20%, like 23% off or something. So it's
Oh,
gonna be at least
really?
$100. Yeah.
That's the sale price.
It's
Holy
doing
shit.
it's doing that Steam thing where they're all on sale at launch, but if you buy them in a bundle, you're even after the sale, it's still going to be sort of discounted, but it's still going to be like $70 at
Mhm.
best. Like I can't listen, everyone. Download it. Download Final Fantasy. Nobody's going to stop you. I don't
Yeah.
give a shit. Emulation's fine. It's here. Get it. Do it. You want to play Final Fantasy 1? Download Final Fantasy 1. You can play it. You can play it on your Android phone right now.
Yeah. The first time, there you go. Stefan says price per pixel. Yeah, $16 each times 6, $1 per. The 16-bit. Yeah, there you go.
What's weird is that Final Fantasy 1 and 2 are $12.
Oh, so
And then
they're
the-
only a 12-bit game, is what you're saying.
And then 3 through 6 are $18.
Oh my lord!
I want to know why. Like, what's the pricing model? Like,
1 and 2 were worse games, I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
2 was not great.
3 is when they introduced job systems, so that's why
Proper
you have
jobs,
to make them.
yeah, 3 and 4.
2 is where they introduced a story, like an
Yes.
actual plot. 3 is where they introduced the jobs. 4 is obviously 4, which is freaking amazing. 5
Which
is where
the
they
best.
It's the best, yeah. 5
like
is
4 a lot.
4 is great. 6 is the best, but I can handle 4. Yeah.
It wasn't all that long ago where it was like
I don't know why it says it's offline. Sorry.
Yeah, where like 2, 3, and 5 are these like they've never been released in America, so now's your chance to play these games for the first time ever, and now it feels like it's just like okay, hold on.
I have 1 and 2 on Game Boy Advance, which that was so I had played 2 and 3 initially as emulated. And fan translations, right? So I got that's how I first played those games. I didn't get through all the way through them, obviously, but and then I ended up picking them up in real. I mean, 3 is only available in 3D. Did they release a like 2D pixel version of 3 anywhere in the US, or was it just the 3D one?
The
3DS games.
Yeah, I feel like they
The
did.
PSP one?
Yeah.
Was it the PSP?
Yeah.
For
Or
3?
was the PSP one 3D?
No, sprites.
Yeah, sprites. And then they did the
Yeah.
they did that. And then they did that Final Fantasy IV stuff where they made more Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah, the after years, or something. It was on the Wii shop. I remember buying it.
Oh, Final Fantasy 3 was, but it was Japanese. It was still the Japanese version.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I have to. In a perfect world, I would like to think that the reason the Switch isn't getting it is because Square is hoping Nintendo pays them to put it on that fucking online. We know that's not true, but
the thing that's also weird is like these games have had versions released later that have added content or like fixed things, and those versions aren't going to be what you get. You're going to get the base game, and that's it. Like you're not going to get the added stuff.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that you're not going to get like the after stuff for Final Fantasy IV. Like, why the fuck not? Just do it, man. Just or like what was it? I was about to say, didn't like one of them add like a whole new like section to like on like the GBA version or something?
Yeah, I think it was 2, wasn't it? 2 that added the whole new section.
Yeah.
I'll just wait for the Pixel Remaster Redux coming in 2 years where they add extra content.
You can, you can attack your characters. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so they'll call it Home Edition or some bullshit.
Home Edition.
Yeah.
just hop over to Dragon Quest where they treat the fans right and just like.
Oh no, not on those. Oh my god, those are the worst remakes. Holy shit! Here's the mistake I made. Ready?
You don't need a remake when you get the pixel version in with your 3D version in the same game.
Right.
Just push the
No, Dragon
button,
Quest 11S is phenomenal on the Switch. Yeah, for sure. No, I bought because I'm a huge Dragon Quest fanatic. Like those are the games I was much more pro Dragon Quest, and I was anti Final Fantasy for a while when I was a youngin, like Zach's age, like 11. No, just kidding. You're the youngest, so I can pick on you. No, when I was my kid's age, she's 11 years old now, and I was like totally Dragon Quest over Final Fantasy, and I just love that game, and so because I was one of the folks that got it through Nintendo Power, and I'm like, oh great, this is the RPGs of the future. I fell in love with RPGs, and so I picked it up. I hadn't played it basically since then. I did have the Game Boy Color version, which you get 1 and 2 of Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior. So I'm like, I'm going to pick up the mobile version because, I'm going to get to play Dragon Quest on the toilet at the office in between meetings. I have to go take a poo leave a poo, and bought it. I think it was on sale for like $3.99 or something. Bought it. And I thought, what is this? This is just absolute trash. Like, not only are the controls bad because it's the on-screen, the on-screen swipe, invisible D-pad type of garbage, but it's just the horrible like flash level graphics, just really bad sprites. I call it graphics. Really bad sprites, bad interface, and that translated over to the Switch. So those are the versions that are actually on the Switch right now and on other platforms is the really bad mobile ports. And so I made the mistake. I wanted to get Dragon Quest 2 and 3 because I just, I hadn't played them in so long, and there really is no other way to get them like the original versions. I thought I was buying the original versions for the Switch, but no, it was these dumb remakes. And I accidentally bought Dragon Quest 1 instead of Dragon Quest 2. So I had 1 and 3, and I had to buy Dragon Quest 2. And I'm like, this is just god awful. Dragon Quest 3 is the best of those original Dragon Quest, that trilogy anyways. So yeah. Sorry, that's my story.
I used to be a Dragon Quest only person until Dragon Quest 8 came out, and it came with the demo for Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah.
I played the demo for that, and I was just like, oh, whoa. So then that's when I went back and started playing like Final Fantasy 10, but I was only maybe 10 or 9. So
I played every single one. The only ones I haven't completed are I think 5. 5, I have not completed the Dragon Quests. Well, and 11, obviously. 5, I have it on the DS, and the problem with that one is it's very much.
Five's the marriage one, right? Where you have to choose.
Well, no, which one was the dream one? Maybe it was 6. Maybe 5. 5 is the marriage one. Dream is 6. Yeah, so the 6 has like a dark world, light world, dream, awake thing. And that's the one that I haven't completed yet because it's so freaking you're kind of aimless in there. They tried to go really open world with it.
Yeah, 6 feels like you're just kind of wandering around.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And like I got to a point where if you don't, you almost have to restart that game if you haven't played it for a couple, like 2, 3, 4 months because you don't know where you are. And that's happened to me. Like I'm considering just restarting Dragon Quest 6, even though I already have like 60 hours into it and I don't have any idea what I have to do, where to go, just because I've forgotten. So
no, 5 is like the one that's considered like the best amongst
because the generational one,
because you play as a kid, you play as a teenage, you play as an adult, you play as so you get to go through it's like the one that they use for all the movies and everything. So.
Yeah, that movie that was out, Your Story, Dragon Quest.
Dude,
Your Story.
Have you guys seen that? It's like
it's actually pretty good.
It's a weird. It has like a weird twist towards the end. I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
So
that's good. So that's the Pixel remasters. We've bored Taylor with Dragon Quest talk. I'm going to share one more.
Dragon Quest. I don't know what to tell you guys.
One more story that I had because there really wasn't anything else, and that is the Ghost of Tsushima director's cut, formally announced, baby.
Good time.
Speaking of paying for shit, you don't need.
Yeah. So I have to pay $30 extra because I have the PS4 version.
Yeah.
And if I want the PS5 version, I have to pay $30 on top of I bought it brand new digitally. So
did you really?
I paid $60 out the gate. So they have the $90 for the PlayStation 5 version of Ghost of Tsushima. Awesome. Cool, guys. I can wait.
Next gen is so cool.
I'll wait
Sony continues to baffle with every decision that they've made on transitioning to PS5.
It's so cool.
They're just taking advantage of all of it.
It's so cool with the Xbox because like the upgrades, that smart delivery genuinely works. You just boot it up and there you go.
I think it's so weird that a selling point for this is like Japanese dub will like match the flaps.
The lips.
Like, how is it? Like, how is that not available?
Wait. Did you say Japanese dub will match the flaps? I think that's freaking awesome.
Isn't that what they're referred to? Like mouth flaps or whatever. Like, I feel like
they're flappers.
Yeah, but it's just like, dude,
imagine Japanese like lip syncing to the nationality that the game takes place in as being anything other than a bug fix.
It's a video game. It's all digital faces. You could just fucking do it.
To get it
for a game, I can get it.
For a game that prides itself in like paying respect to the culture and like doing like really intense data research into everything, the fact that that's overlooked and not at launch is very weird. So I don't know.
Is it like Spider-Man? We had to replace their faces because new technology made it not look right, made the mouth movement not look right. So shouldn't they just get named like ambassadors to the real place? Isn't that like
they just became ambassadors to like to the whole like area.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean,
I get more access to like.
I haven't played the game yet, so I'll be picking it up. I got some.
No way, Dolly! You haven't played the game. I can't believe it.
Let me just say this: I haven't even bought this game.
Yeah, at least he hasn't bought it.
I didn't buy this, and I didn't buy Last of Us 2. Yeah. So I'm starting to learn a little bit. Nature is healing. I'm starting to learn a little bit. The only other quick news bit I had was that EA Play Live. They kind of revealed their schedule, which is they have something this week, July 8th. They're going to be talking to Battlefield and Apex. Yeah, I know. July 13th is EA Hearts Independent Studios, so expect Unraveled 3 probably. I don't know. July 19th is Madden 22. July 20th is more EA Sports. I think that's where they'll actually announce. They'll show off some of the FIFA and the rest of the Madden and NHL stuff. And then the big one.
There's two sports things that are probably because they've been teasing. There's rumors of like potentially Fight Night coming back.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
And they may, because as of now, you can, and NCAA players can get like make money off of their likeness.
Well, they did announce there's going to be college football. They have an EA college football game. They just may actually call it NCAA football.
Yeah, it may actually be, or you're going to actually finally get real players with their real names.
Yeah.
And not just like, oh, this is like, or the only real names you get is when it was like, oh, he played this NFL player played for this college, 45 years ago, so you can just slap their name on the jersey. But so that'll be cool. It'll be cool to have like legit like college, like not just like weird name, like faceless, nameless drones playing football.
I mean, I think the big one of the news bites. So I think the 22nd is when they're doing their full. Is 22nd? Whatever. Yeah, that's when they're doing their full event. And that's where they're going to announce that Dead Space reboot thing that Grubb's been talking about. That a lot of us have actually like been hearing the buzz. The only buzz I don't even call it buzz. The only people that have my god, your dog is so freaking awesome. That was a boss. The only thing I had ever heard was, hey, they're going to be bringing a Dead Space trilogy back, but it wasn't going to be like a reboot or anything like that. It was just basically they're going to be re-releasing the games on like as a collection.
Remake the third one so Isaac never takes his helmet off.
There you go.
Remake the third one so it's good.
A good game.
But yeah, exactly. That's the one I'm playing.
They need to do that thing where it's like, okay, we're gonna pretend the third one never came out, and this is actually Dead Space.
I'm just gonna throw it out there that I don't trust anything that EA does with remaking any of these games and then being better than even number 3. True. I would not expect any better product than what we already got.
Well,
I really like the first Dead Space a hell of a lot.
Yeah. The second one wasn't horrible. Dead Space Extraction on the Wii was actually pretty okay, I gotta say.
Listen,
they made that made its way to the PS3 as well.
Yep.
It might not be, but Dead Space 3 was also still good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying
the game. It was just a worse horror game.
Yeah. It was just action.
There's this tweet I saw where someone was showing like the escalation that the series went through, like how like your stasis powers in part 1 is used to open a door to like keep it open so you can go through, and like 2 you like close like a blade, or like you keep a blade closed, and then 3 it's like you're using your powers to stop a traffic jam so everything doesn't explode. It's like weird, like it's just like typical EA, like, okay, let's see how we can make this bigger. And it's just stupid.
It's so weird to think of how big that game was when it came out. Like they made a movie. Like Isaac was in like the golf game with Tiger Woods that year. Like, boy, they were really betting it all on Dead Space, and people loved it. And then it's just like, well, all right, see ya.
Yeah, they didn't even give it like a Mass Effect Andromeda send off. They just said Dead Space 3 is done. That's it. Let's forget about it. I will say this: the Dead Space books were pretty. I've read a couple. I think there was maybe 2 or 3, and the comics, I should say, as well. They're pretty fantastic because they're all like these really dark, psychological, yet there's a lot of like religion, because it's essentially this like Scientology style cult that takes up. It's some real good reading. Like there's definitely the lore within Dead Space could have been done better. But like what Grubb says, is that they're sort of doing a reboot of Dead Space, taking the themes of the original, the ideas of the original, and then sort of doing a Resident Evil 2 style reboot to it, so that it's more kind of up to date, modernized. And I'm okay with that direction. I think that would be a good direction. Look what it's done to Resident Evil. That series. Let's see, we had RE2, and then we had RE7 came after that, or was it the other way around?
No, it was the other way around. 7 came first, then the 2 and 3 remakes.
Yeah. So I think RE7 really sort of revitalized it, and then RE2, when they went back and remade the game, I remember being at E3 in the theater with Sam when we saw that video, the trailer, and everybody went nuts that they were remaking that game. So, I'm okay with them going this direction. So, good stuff. Hopefully, we'll see what happens in about 2-3 weeks here.
Yeah.
Let's go on to what we've been playing, because I'm going to go first real quick. It's the holiday week. What we've been playing. It's the holiday weekend. Oh, by the way, he says, didn't they diminish the use of cutting limbs and stuff? They did. The first game was all about chopping off those limbs.
The first game took that idea from the Resident Evil remake, where it's like, you gotta fucking put these corpses down or else you're screwed, and took it to its extreme. And then by the time you get to the third one, it was like, just
blow them up. Great games, other games. What have you been playing? It's the holiday weekend. I have because we were up at our cottage. We had the whole family up there. La-di-da. Where it was only 91 degrees up there. That's where I got this beautiful color that you see here. So is Switch time. So we're kind of poking around through a few of the different games that I had. And you're playing a lot of family stuff because you have like little kids around. So I will say this. I am fantastic at Mario Kart. I'm fantastic at Smash Brothers. To a degree. I'm not like championship level. But when you play against kids and all three are going after you, it's chaotic and difficult to maintain, because I don't want to be the a-hole uncle that just demolishes my nephews and my daughter.
Why
I
not?
definitely
It's
do.
like, oh, Uncle Dolly won again. This is no fun. What, Taylor? What was that?
Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Why not? Just do it. They came after you.
You don't want to see 3 kids crying nonstop.
Not my kids. I don't care.
Now you're guessing. My kids. One of them was mine. Is mine. So yeah, that was a lot of family gaming. Yeah. So, but she understands. She understands that if I win, it's just because I'm better. Mario Kart 8 is so good. Yeah, Stefan says it right. System life is harsh by destroying them in Smash Brothers. Mario Kart 8. God, that game is like almost 10 years old, and it's still so fucking good, man. It's such a great game.
I'm impressed. It looks so good for not being
best
that
looking Switch.
Like
yeah, it's the best looking Switch game. It's one of the best looking games on consoles right now.
How?
Hands down.
Yeah. It's so.
How do they do it?
I don't know.
They never milked that game for any more either. There is no DLC pack. There is no anything. It just exists.
JJ, it's kind of a weird statement to make when they already released that game for the Wii U and how many DLC packs for the Wii U and then sold it again. I mean, listen, I'm
Nintendo though. Like the fact
I get it, but it includes like 4 DLC packs in the game already, and it's a re-release from 1 gen ago.
And yet it still is like one of the top sellers every fucking month when the NPD numbers roll around. It's like Grand Theft Auto 5.
Right. Stefan brings up this good point. One thing Nintendo could do for Mario Kart to improve it is to create an adventure mode RPG system and add third-party characters. So I think we're at the end of Smash Brothers in terms of this Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. There's 1 character left, and then we're done with this game probably for like 6, 7 years, 8 years.
For a while.
I don't think Sakurai is done. Yeah.
The man is so tired.
Man, poor guy. But I do think that Mario Kart is their next they already did it with Zelda, and they had Animal Crossing and Splatoon in there. I could see them add some of those other characters into Mario Kart and make that sort of their next big thing. I think like literally the next Mario Kart will have. Oh yeah, I think the next Mario Kart game will have all these different characters into it. And I love what Stefan said. I would kill to have an adventure mode or some type of mode where I'm coming back and sort of like Gran Turismo, where you had the mode
more like a career mode.
A career mode, I think that would be fantastic. Although with Nintendo, I could see them doing some wacky adventure mode like they're doing with Mario Golf and with
Mario Golf,
Tennis Aces.
At least they kind of hid that stuff behind like an RPG kind of.
Yeah, slightly.
The one like has that weird.
Yeah, but I think that could be good. That could be a good route to take with it. Yeah. So. All right. What have you been playing, JJ? Let's go, JJ. You had a game that you were playing. You have several review things that you're playing, but you had one that you can actually talk about.
Well, I can. Which one can I talk about? Are you thinking?
There was the one from like 3 weeks ago. I think.
Yeah, that I was playing that before we popped in on here. Yeah. What was the? I keep forgetting.
Musishima. Yeah.
No, I played through that a couple of times. It's always a bummer when you play. It's because it's a re-release of an older, early 2000s arcade shooter from Cave, and you kind of hope that slowdown goes away, but it never does in these, and. It's a real bummer. It's a real fucking bummer when you're playing it and the screen just comes to a slog as you're trying to dodge the bullets. You're like, please.
Wait, so is that a Switch issue or is it a game issue?
I mean, that's how the game, like in like the Dreamcast version and stuff, would have like been the same way then. But nowadays, I can't tell. It's maybe. It may be a Switch issue. It probably is. But it's super accessible. That's the one thing that's a plus for it, because you can really just kind of go through it. And they have like an easy mode, an original mode, like a new arrange mode, like an updated version of it with like They don't really do a lot to explain what the different modes are, except in this trailer. So like you boot it up and you're like, what is this mode? And this trailer tells you, oh, the bullets move faster. But look, even on the trailer, how slow the game gets. But
it doesn't sound like a Switch thing.
Yeah, that's just what these games were. A lot of them were, especially from this era. It's got a great soundtrack. I'll give it the soundtrack thing. But finally, we could make it is such a weird way to promote.
Finally, we could do it.
Yeah, I don't think there was a lot of people champing at the bit for this particular bullet hell game. I totally forgot about it until you said, hey, does anybody want the review code for this? And I was like, oh shit, that's right, that was a game, wasn't it? I like the bug motif, like this weird like fern gully, like you're just shrunk down into a world of bugs and Bugs Life. Disney's Bugs, Pixar's Bugs Life. There you go.
There you go.
I feel like the idea of wanting to play bullet hells has just completely left my body.
Look at this. Look at this on the trailer right now. Ultra mode is at your own risk. Yes, it's impossible. I was having no fun playing Ultra mode.
It's just like, it just doesn't sound interesting to me.
Yeah, it's. I'm glad that it has the different versions, because usually these bullet hell games, you get the one and you're done. Like that's it. Like you get the one mode. It's going to be impossible for you to play, and if you don't like that, then too bad. But this one at least gives you like 3 or 4 different game options for it. And
so are you playing it in just like docked or undocked? Or
I've been trying. I've done everything. Switch Lite and normal Switch. And on my normal Switch, I've even done it with the Flip Boy or whatever.
Okay, I was going to ask about that. Okay.
The Flip Grip. Yeah, it does have a vertical. It does have a vertical option. That's the best way to play it, just because that vertical scrolling is, how it was supposed to be played to begin with. So if you have the ability to play it in the vertical scrolling, that's the way to go. I always feel bad saying it, but I think this is one of those bullet hell games that you could just pass on.
Okay.
It's fine. It's unless you're like diehard for it. It's a good vertical shooter. It's a bad bullet hell game. It really is. It's not a particularly great bullet hell game, but as a vertical scroller, it's a shmup. It's really good. But there's so many more. You can get the SNK collection. Get
that collection. That's a good collection.
Or Ikaruga is on the Switch. There's other options out there. This one's just one of those. It fell to behind the scenes and is really just sort of one of those games that is for people that really follow the genre and like that stuff. It doesn't have any historical stuff because it's not really a historical important game to the overall thing. But
you don't remember the Great Bug War, JJ?
Yeah, the Great Bug Revolution.
There are locusts right now, and in Michigan we're dealing with gypsy moths.
Yeah.
Mushi Himasama. And it's an old game that's back on the Switch.
The Switch is a great place for this kind of nonsense. I love it for that. Like, there's a lot of cool old lost arcade games that sort of pop up from time to time, but a lot of those are like $8, and this one's not. So get it on sale, I guess, if you can. I know that's a bad thing to say in a review for somebody that gave me a review copy for a game, but I don't give a shit. It's just okay at the very best.
Just okay at best.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Other thing, the other game that you were talking about, I can actually kind of talk about it.
Oh, can you? Okay.
Yeah. The review embargo lifted today.
Oh, okay.
But there is things that I'm not allowed to talk about, but that's okay because I haven't gotten that far in it yet because I just started it. And it's Sam & Max. This time it's virtual for the Oculus Quest, and I was very excited because I love Sam & Max. I'm a big fan of the comics, big fan of the old LucasArts games. Even the Telltale games were fun. I like those ones. I think they re-released those last year. Sam Max Save the World or whatever it is. I think this got a re-release last year. This is definitely not an adventure game in a traditional sense. It's a different kind of Sam & Max game. It feels like they're shoving adventure stuff into between mini games based around Sam & Max, basically. So you are a character that is being like trained by them to be part of their private police group. And so like their training grounds is an old abandoned theme park. And so you go there and it's like, okay, this one is a shooting gallery. This one's a bomb defusal thing, sort of like stop talking and nobody explodes kind of thing. And I forget what the other one was. And when those three were done, it then goes into like this sort of like adventure mode thing where you're talking to people. They give you a flyer and you're like holding up the flyer to people that like you're trying to find a criminal. And the first there's like a course, and you're like wall climbing, like the climb and things like that. It's really doing some interesting things, and then you're using those things that you just learned in their little mini games in this like small little adventure mode section where you're getting like things and combining them together, and now you're chasing a criminal, you're climbing up the wall to get to him and stuff. So far so good. I'm not allowed to talk about anything after the 9th mission of this thing until this game comes out, but this game comes out later this week, so it doesn't matter. Next time we speak, I'll be able to talk more about some of the other stuff.
The Sam & Max visuals seem to kind of fit pretty well with the VR stuff. It's
perfect. They're really talking directly at you, and they're kind of constantly sort of like making fun of you, the character, like as a like, you know, that sense of humor is very innuendo laden, always was and still is in this. You know, like at the beginning, like it's like they have their little office that you're wandering through, and they're making you like, okay, I need you to take care of the cockroaches. My revolver is in the closet, and or like test your fists out, so make sure to punch the clown, which is a very, very good joke. But yeah, so far so good. I didn't know it looks like it's, according to this, it's coming to PSVR. I haven't heard about that, but yeah, I can't wait to like stop recording this and like back into it.
You're playing on Oculus?
Oculus Quest. Awesome. Yeah, Quest 2. And yeah, so far so good. It's not, if you're looking for a Sam & Max adventure, it doesn't seem like you're necessarily going to get it, but kind of being in the universe with these guys and like interacting with them directly has been very fun so far. So yeah, I'm interested.
That's cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to, it'll be my final thoughts next week probably. So, or whenever I'm back here.
Excellent.
Mario Golf is what I've been playing as well.
Mario Golf, good. And
I got the Tony Hawk, wow, pre-birthday podcast. Okay.
I'm just going through all these comments. Sorry, Taylor. Sorry.
Yeah, just and I got Tony Hawk for the Switch. I always said I was going to get it, and I did get it, and it's great on the Switch.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah, it plays. It took a hit visually. That's for damn sure. But it's playing at like a solid 30 frames per second. So, you know, because it took that visual hit.
Should be hitting 60 if they're taking visual hits.
Yeah.
Just
weirdly,
old man it.
Yeah, weirdly the menus like are sluggish. Like they feel like they're in mud. Like you're watching like the opening cinematic and stuff, and you're like, what is wrong?
That is one of the things that just pet peeves me too hard. Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah, and then you get into the game and it's just like, oh well, everything's fine here. Okay. I don't know what the fuck that was. but it's every time. It's not like it's like some weird hiccup or something. It's just
feature, not a bug.
Yeah, I don't get it. But you know, it's. I think if you go to my Twitter, I did a side-by-side comparison of the Xbox Series X version compared to the Switch version in the same location, and it's like it really looks like you're running like Tony Hawk 4 on a GameCube through an HDMI like cable. It's like all of the reflections are gone, all of the like the minute details and like the boards and like the corrugated steel and stuff are all gone. It's
so you know these ports never look anything like what they look like on any other console.
Yeah.
But companies are still pumping them out on the Switch. So my guess is that they sell decent enough on Switch to warrant these down ports.
The ones that do the best are the ones that are clearly trying, like like Doom. They really put some effort in making Doom run on the Switch. They put some effort. They were willing to sort of destroy their game visually to get it up and running for the Switch, and and it's the same thing's going on with Tony Hawk, and I have a suspicion that it will probably do really, really well on the Switch eventually. Probably not. Because it kind of just came out. There was no push for it, so
I had no clue it came out.
I think it was the same week as Mario Golf. And...
Yeah, it was like the same exact day as Mario Golf. I got them both. Yeah, it was the same day as Mario Golf. So it was like, just dump it. It felt like it was just like a dump it and get out of here, but it's not. It very clearly is a game they put effort into to try to get it on the Switch, and everything's there. It's got all them online stuff still and everything, which is a sad thing to say, but you never know with these Switch ports. Like, I like you're either gonna get Doom or you're going to get WWE 2K18. They sold DLC to people for that WWE game that they never released because it was such a broken game.
Wow.
It ran at like 15 frames a second, and that's in a one-on-one match. Like, it was so ridiculous, and they never fixed it. Like, you would go to the forums, and they're like, "This
they're just waiting for the Switch Pro to release so that it runs better."
Yeah. So that's it. That's Tony Hawk's great.
Okay.
It's still Tony Hawk though. Like,
still Tony Hawk.
If
our Lord and Savior.
Yes, if you've played,
he's a fan of the show.
He's a close personal friend of yours.
Yeah. Hey Zach, what have you been playing, dude?
Oh boy.
Final Fantasy 14?
I actually haven't been playing Final Fantasy 14, which is not really unusual. I mean, that the director of that game, his like direct quote is like, I don't want you to play my game every day. Like I don't want you to like he doesn't want you to have to do things that are going to waste your time. So a lot of that game is like, after you get the stuff that you need, like the gear and stuff, you just kind of just chill. But I haven't touched it. Let's see. So I've been playing a lot of Slime Rancher, actually.
Really? I've never played it, but I keep seeing it pop up. Is it on Game Pass?
Yeah, it's on Game Pass, of course. And it's like, it's a game that can get really dark when you actually like think about how it works.
Yeah,
because it's because you like go collect these slimes and you bring them back to your farm and you feed them the food that they like and you make them happy and they give you these tokens, kind of. I forgot they're called plurples or something. And you give that you get that and you sell it. So you sell it as a resource and you get gold. You can increase and you can buy more cages. You can buy more like plots for like growing vegetables or like plots for chickens because some of them eat meat. But then you can also use that purple that crystal that they give you to shoot at another slime and join them together, so you can combine races. So you're just like so you're just like sitting there like, okay, what's the optimal mix here. Like who's the best one to have together?
Just some real Nazi science going on.
Yeah,
here.
like it gets deep. It's like, okay, so this one emits a radioactive field, and this one can fly. If I combine them, will they be better together because they'll be flying away from me and they won't hurt me? Like I'll get more money from doing. So it's just a lot of like thinking and figuring out like placements of where they go, what they like, and how to like just keep ramping up your production. So yeah, it's really fun. It's like a really fun, mindless game because there's you have tasks you do every day. You go out into this like area to like collect things, collect more slimes if you want, go explore areas, use keys, just like complete tasks. So it's a really fun game if you just like to like turn your brain off. But like back at your farm, it can get like Nazi. You're just like, dude, like I'm sorry, but you're out, and you just like suck them up and throw them into the ocean. Wow. Like, so yeah, so that's fun. And then I've been playing this old MMO called Dofus. It's a French MMO that was big for a bit over here, but it kind of died out. And it's like a strategy RPG game, and has amazing art. But so I've been playing that. I get in these weird kicks where I just play old MMOs that are like almost dead or have like no community. Not like, well, they have a community of like dedicated people, and that's what I like about it. I like to go into those games and talk to people and figure out how the games work and see like these smaller like games. So I've been playing that, and it's pretty easy to play like on like your second screen while you're like working or watching something. But yes, it's been fun to talk to people. The community is mostly French, so there's an English barrier, a language thing. But I found an English community, and they've been like walking me through and like showing me the ropes, and it's been pretty fun. It's a really enjoyable game.
What was the name of it again?
Dofus.
Yeah,
Dofus.
What was the?
It's like doofus.
Wakfu.
Yeah.
Oh, Wakfu makes it.
No, yeah, it's that universe.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So Dofus is like the first game, and Wakfu is the second game. Yeah. And the community doesn't like Wakfu that much. And I was gonna play Wakfu. I was gonna play Wakfu because it popped up in my email. I was like, oh, I'll just go check that out. Cool. But then I did research. People are like, play Dofus. It's better and blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, I'll download Dofus. And I downloaded it. And I got hooked. I was like, oh, cool. I played maybe 7 hours, like just while I was working. I just kept playing it. I was just like addicted. So yeah, it's been fun. Just like go and check out. And the art's really cool. I like the art. It's really well done. It has the French aesthetic.
There's a movie, isn't there?
There's a bunch of movies, a bunch of shows. Like it's huge. Like it's huge overseas.
French cartoons rule, man. That's they know what they're doing.
Yeah, the movies are on Netflix, and there's a series too. There's like 3 seasons of the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's this weird thing that just kind of exists in the periphery of everyone.
It's really cool that it's a strategy MMORPG. So you walk up to mobs and you instance into an area that's like a top-down, like competitive, like not competitive, but just like a top-down strategy zone. And so it's fun to just like zone into that and have your skills, and it's a cool take on a grinding MMO type of thing. Especially when everything right now is like press your rotation 1, 2, 3, 4, do this, or like run around, do this. This is like, hey, let's think about it, because there's a lot of strategy that you have to do in a lot of fights too. So yeah,
okay.
And the subs like $4.50 a month, so it's a lot cheaper than something else. Then besides that, let me see. I'm looking at my Steam over here. I really did want to play Disgaea more this week, but my girlfriend stayed home for our dog, and she's been playing Stardew on the Switch, and we've been playing Stardew on my PC, like on our PCs. So we started a multiplayer world on Stardew, and we've been doing that.
I picked up Stardew Valley the day it was released on Switch. Put like an hour and a half into it. That's it. That's all I've ever played, and I really want to get back into Stardew Valley. It's just I'd never had that chance.
It's fun multiplayer because like it's a different take on it, because usually when you play farming games, you're like trying to figure out what's the best way to like make money and like clean out your farm. But like as a two-player game, you have the same goals like for your city or for like your city hall, and like each character has their own progression with the other people in the town. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this at the farm, and then I'm gonna go fish, and then go to the mine, and you're gonna do what? Like, oh, I'm gonna go to the store and get this and start planting these. So it's like it's a fun thing because you're working towards the same goal. Like, let's make the best farm that we can, but also I'm trying to get married and she's trying to get married, and it's like, yeah. So it's fun. And then I've been playing Cruelty Squad again, which we'll get into
of course.
with Taylor when he talks about it.
I'm not talking about
it. Ever.
Never going to give you the satisfaction.
Dude, I made him. I talked him into getting it.
I saw that.
I made him.
It's now a thing.
Got him.
Everyone's talking about Cruelty Squad on the internet now, and it's frustrating.
I was laughed at for months. And then now it's like
for months I've been oppressed for my games choices.
Now everyone's going to be able to like go back and see the Twitter bullshit from a little bit ago.
Yeah, dude. That game is something. But yeah, so the other game I'm playing is a review game, which I can talk about today. That they sent me a code for Friday night, and review is supposed to go up today. So thank you for that.
For that late review. Let me just say this. Your messages in the Discord became like this incessant yet beautiful, like you so wanted them to send you the code and you were in pain waiting for that code. But as a father, I'd be so fucking annoyed if my kid kept asking me. And I know this because I did this with the GD Super Nintendo when I left the Nintendo Power pages open, and every magazine I had on the house, everything that had the Super Nintendo, I left around the house open so my dad would see it. He never bought it, by the way. I had to get it myself. But this is what it's like. But you did it. You got it.
Yeah, I mean, 11 p.m. Friday night, they said, hey, here's your code. I was like, thanks.
Like, holy shit.
What's the review due? Monday.
Good luck. It's okay.
It's
a historically short franchise.
Yes. So I will say you threw yourself into Disgaea with like 70 plus hours for your review.
It was very funny to watch you just slip into the Disgaea magic.
Yeah.
Learning how the game works and
I'm still deep in there, dude. I want to play more. Just my girlfriend has my Switch, so it's like whatever.
Learning how to make that game play itself. It was just like watching your realization of like, so if I do this,
it's great. So good.
It's one of my favorite reviews I think I've done. Is so fun.
It's a good review. A good review on the site. Go to it. SideQuesting.com.
So I've been playing Ys 9, which is the 9th entry into the Ys series. And it's one of my favorite series ever. I think the first two games are like some of like a perfect RPG because the series is really it does a good job of like condensing mechanics and making them simple, but not too simple. Like it makes the stuff that you don't want to really be concerned about be easy to just kind of like put to the side. So for example, in the first two games, the way you get new gear, you basically like get items as you're playing through the game, and you level up your sword and you become and you do more attacks. So that's really like not really a concern. And this series has increased from being like simple because the first two games there's no fighting really. You run into bad guys to attack them. It's called bump attack system is what it's called. So you just like run into dudes. And it's like a bullet hell. So you're like running into dudes and like dodging stuff. So the series goes from being this simple thing to like then being like a bullet hell with 3D movement and jumping, and then being a kind of like 3D bullet hell skill based like dodging parrying type of like game. So it's this huge like increase from being like you're just like a top fighting dudes to be like now you have to block at the right time to slow down time to do more damage to the enemy, because if you don't you're going to die in one hit type of thing. Like that's where the game's at now. So East 9 is kind of the tail end of this third trilogy that we have, because we have Celceta, which is the 7th. We have what's the 8th one called? Lacrimosa of Dana, just the 8th, and then 9th is Monstrum Nux, which is probably my favorite of the ones recently. And these three games have this tag party system, so you're fighting dudes and you just tag out to your party people. So like, okay, I'm fighting with Adol, who's the main character. I'm gonna tag out to this chick who uses an axe, and like then you can tag out and do another combo. So it's like super fast paced, and the other two games prior didn't really do a good job of making you like need to switch. But now it's like each enemy has these elements, and you need to break their barrier with the appropriate person. So it's like this person's weak against red. Okay, Adol's red. I'm gonna use that, break him, and then I can go in for all this combo and kill him. But the game, at least where I'm playing on lunatic mode, which is like the second to last hardest. It's like you need to use that system to play the game at all, because if you don't, you're just going to get killed in like one hit. And it has a quick time like dodging thing, like a bullet hell, not bullet hell, like a bayonetta like dodge where you slow down time. It has that, so you can slow down time so they don't hit you. Then they have a defend, which is a guard that you can use to get more damage. So you have to figure out like, okay, I need them to swing at me, and I could potentially die if I mess up. So I'm gonna try this. Boom, I get the attack boost and I go in, and then you're just dodging, moving, flying around, going crazy. It's super fun. It's really fun to just like fight random dudes. It's fun to fight bosses that take forever to kill, but learning how to juggle the dodging and the defensive thing is really nice. The story is also pretty cool. For people who don't know, the E series is about one dude. His name's Adol. He's kind of like, it's kind of just like you'd like a Dritz or like a D&D kind of like fantasy dude. Like he's basically that. Is like each game is just a story in his life. And it's just like a retelling from his journals, like what happened. So kind of just like going through his life. And so it's pretty different for a JRPG series where it's a very consistent character and his friends. You get to see them kind of progress and reference things in the past, in the future. So it's cool to have like a core group of people, because there's not really that many long running RPG series really like this, at least, where there's 9 games where it's like everything is a reference, everything matters, which is cool. But the games are also cool to where you can just jump in wherever and then go back or go forward. Like you can start wherever you want to and play the series, and you'll know like things. So, but you're not going to miss out on stuff because Adol at the end of the day is just like a dude. He's like whatever. But yeah, it's really anime, but it's really well written. It talks about some interesting topics. Like the first little character arc is about this. So you turn into these like anime people, like what you see. That's basically how I can describe them. They have powers. They're called monstroms, I think. Yeah, they're called monstroms. They're like these alternate versions of these people who exist in real life. So like the alternate version of that person is like a anime superhero. And the first one you meet is this like thief who steals from the poor and gives to the who steals from the rich and gives to the poor. And you eventually learn about like all these like oh there's this company that is selling items and they're using slave labor from the prisons and the poor people to get their work done. They're exploiting their workers. And then the chick who you're starting to talk to, she's giving money to the poor people. So the poor people don't want to work anymore. So it shows off this power dynamic of when the workers don't want to work, who's going to do the job? And yeah, it's basically like Power Ranger. So it's like it's a really cool like story to tell. Like, hey, like the workers have the power, and what happens when they can disrupt a whole like supply chain, and you're basically tasked with like your person in real life that isn't a Power Ranger is tasked with discovering who's disrupting this whole thing, and you end up learning who it is. It's someone who's close to the company, and she hates how they're treating their workers and blah blah blah. So it's pretty cool. Corey told me that it doesn't keep that like cool social commentary going, which is fine. I don't play these games to get that type of story. Yeah, and they're just super fun, solid games. The team behind these games knows what to budget.
Yeah.
They know what to budget and they know what to focus on. So it's like, okay, graphics, whatever. Like let's focus on the gameplay and let's make sure
we still have some PS2 graphics left over. To make the hair shinier, we're good.
It doesn't look great. I mean, it runs for whatever reason. It runs like shit on the Switch.
Really?
Yeah, it's bad.
It's pretty bad. I was looking some clips, especially in handheld mode. There's one kind of like main city that's the hub area, and the frame rates when you're in that city are like sub 20. Right,
yeah,
like the whole time.
So the way the game works, which is also cool, is you have that dual life. You have like this, like, oh, I'm a Power Ranger, I'm a dude who runs an inn with my friends. It's basically like their cover up. What's really cool is you explore the city and you unlock things throughout. Like, so it's kind of like an open world game, but it's like smaller on a smaller scale, and things will unlock for you to do as you keep playing the game that are in relation to the characters that you bring into your party. So like the cat chick who's stealing from people, you can find graffiti on the wall that's talking about like capitalist manifestos and stuff. You know, you're just like going through finding that, and then if you find them all, she gets a stat boost. So it's like it gives you reason to explore the city. And then there's also a underlying city, which is the opposite side, which is your Power Ranger side, where you can explore and fight and stuff. So it's a cool use of budget to keep one area stacked and full of things to do and not make you like go, because they know that they can't make these huge fields that are like lush for you to walk through. So they're like, let's make dungeons, let's make this city, let's make the city as big as we can, and let's fill it up. Let's just fill it up with stuff for you to do. So that's fun. It's super fun. I want to play it now. I've been wanting to play it all day. So I love it. And it runs really well on PC, which is a shocker. It's like it has a FOV slider, which is rare for Japanese games. It caps out at 144 frames a second. It has so many customization options. It's smooth. It runs like amazing. I haven't had to tweak anything. I just maxed out the frame rate, zoomed out the camera. Everything's cool. But yeah, so PC port is very solid, shockingly. So definitely, I mean, if you're a fan, you're gonna get it. But yeah, it's a very cool pushing of these mechanics that we've had the last 3 games. I kind of missed the farming from the last one, but whatever. But that's just me. Yeah, I think that's it. Everything else is Taylor.
Everything else is Taylor. So let's move on to Taylor. You guys ready for that hour? Let's do it. Buckle up, get that coffee.
A good one, Dally. This will only be an hour. I loved it. That was great. So yeah, I played Mario Kart, or not Mario Kart, Mario Golf. It was a great week. Played Mario Golf. Everybody should give it a shot.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a good enough game. It's a good enough game.
Yeah, good enough.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, give it a shot.
It's about par for what you would expect from one.
It gets a hole in one.
Oh, this episode's rough.
Jeez. Like an albatross hanging around your neck there, Zach. All right, we're gonna pass on
fringe lunatics.
Yeah, man, that was rough. Okay, right, so, let's move on.
So I started to try and play Death Stranding again because it's been marooned for, I don't know, like 4 months. I was trying to think about, like, you know, it's probably since my daughter was born, basically. I played a couple hours. It crashed on me a couple times, which the first time it crashed, I was just like, I'll see you tomorrow. And, but then I go back and I moved, but like the pacing is really weird in Death Stranding.
Definitely.
I was describing it to Zach about like where I was, and it was like, oh, you might be here. And then I launched the game and I'm like, I'm on chapter like 3. It was 10 chapters. I'm so early in the game, and it just 16
like chapters.
Holy fuck. So I'm chapter 3. So it's just like
I'm almost done on chapter 3.
You know, I never thought that it was that I was like really far through it, but it's just a weirdly paced game.
Sure.
And you know, the whole point is it feeling like a journey because it takes a long ass time to, you know, you're crossing the country by foot because you know, the rest of the world has like fallen apart around you. So but yeah, I mean, but it's still good, and I need to play significantly more because there was basically no difference from what I played 4 months ago versus what I played today, because even with another 2 hours or so that I got into it, basically nothing happened other than I made it to another one of the hidey holes that you deliver shit to. And that's kind of the game.
There's a point that every person I've talked to that plays this game says, I think I'm almost done. It's always chapter 6. It's always chapter 6. So that's why I was like, oh, you're at chapter 6. It's like, are you bringing Mama to the place? You're like, no. It's like, I haven't even met Mama yet. I was like, oh shit. But yeah, chapter 6, I think, is where the game kicks off. Like, there's a point in chapter 3 or 4 where it's like, oh, crazy. And then chapter 6 is like, starts.
So I think that's part of the pacing problem for me, is that like that drip is a little too far off. Because like if I had been hit with that drip by now, I probably wouldn't have put it on pause in the first place. And like, cause like the first part, you were getting ram slapped with story and like the good bits where it's like weird sci-fi shit, and this is completely unintelligible, and I like it like that. And then it just, they tried to get me, you know, it's like they tried to give me a fast drip, get me addicted, and then like pulled me cold turkey. It's like, no, you just got to feed me a little bit more than that before you cut me off completely dry. Because they all they did was like, all right, well, I hope you like the delivery stuff, which is good, admittedly. Like it shouldn't be as good of a gameplay loop as it is, but it is. And they're like, I hope this will sustain you until we get back to the fun, weird story shit. And it just was a little too far out. But I'll keep going. because it is still good.
Yeah,
there's a legit like a whole 2 gameplay systems that you haven't even got introduced to yet.
Perfect.
It's like the best parts of the game.
Yeah, I love time gating the best parts of a video game. I don't understand.
You're almost halfway to the best parts of the video game.
It's that Final Fantasy 13 talk again, where it's like, oh no, the game doesn't even open up until you're like 12 hours in.
It was actually close to 40 hours in.
Yeah, that's right. It's like 40 hours.
But yeah, no, Corey was just commenting on it. But yeah, no, actually, like the one I literally want to just run missions so that I can keep building the road. I just want to build the big road forever. It's so good. It's like it's so oddly rewarding to build this road through Desolate America so that you can just ride your courier motorcycle wherever you want to go. It's so good. But then you have to do all the other stuff where it gets dangerous. So I did that, and then I booted up Cruelty Squad.
Boy!
I think I must have left it running somewhere. Hold on, let me pull it up into my library to see how many hours it says that I've played of it, and it is way more than I have.
You're pulling a dolly, because of course that's what I tend to do. It's like, how did I have 172 hours in Sudoku on the Switch? Like, I left it open. I fell asleep playing it.
Yeah, if you boot up my Steam, it's like I can assure you I did not play Max Payne 3 for 284 hours.
3.2 hours. That's actually completely accurate. So 3.2 hours. It's probably done. I don't know how. I know that there, because I cheated. I know that there's some secret things in there. But I don't. It's just like, imagine how do you describe Cruelty Squad? This is actually like the hardest part about the game. So how many missions have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 missions. I don't know how many there are in total, but that's how many that I've done. It's just like it's an aesthetic that was somehow like transmutated into a video game is the best way that I can describe it. If I had to describe it, the actual game part, it's easy. Kind of it's like a streamlined like a procedural arena. It's you have a mission and it's like GoldenEye. You get dropped into a relatively simplistic arena where you have to kill people and then exit. That's literally it. But everything else about it is so just bizarre, and it's just so, I don't know. There's nothing. There's basically just nothing like it, which is the biggest thing that it has going for it. You start the game and you can, you're the opening like quote unquote cinematic is also pretty good, where it's just like, hey, get off the couch, you depressed piece of shit. You're killing for us again now. And you're just like, yeah, sure. All right, whatever. And then you have access to a stock market and you can sell body parts. And like literally that's the first thing that happens in the game. And then you have to go kill the CEO of something, right? Isn't that what it is? Isn't that the first mission?
It's like you're hired by a third-party company that is essentially like a proxy for CEOs to commit like assassinations and stuff. So you get hired by proxy by the Cruelty Squad to go kill the CEO of some tech company. Dude, anytime I see this game, it makes me want to laugh so hard. It's like
it really is. Like you die and then you see a screen which is that I'm nothing but like a bundle of neurons in a like shoved into a sentient body. It's just like I don't know. Like I want everybody to play it just so they can try and describe it back to me.
Yeah, no. It's just like anarchy in like the purest form is what it is. It's like it's taking like, I hate to be this like super snobby like artsy fartsy dude, but I have to be like, it takes the constraints of like what a video game is and just says fuck it, and it's just like rips it apart. And it's like, let's just make things unintelligible but intelligible at the same time. It's like smartly designed to be like on the precipice of like being insane, but it's like it's
logistics. It's so good.
it's just crazy. It's like it's a game that will never happen ever again. Like this is like nothing like this will never happen again, and it's here and it's like making a statement by just existing. Like, hey, like I'm a game that's good and I look like shit and I don't care. Like that's it.
And the best part is like,
cool.
I respect how terrible this HUD is. Like,
you should.
That fishing.
Like, because the thing about it is that like, yeah, I don't think that Cruelty Squad is necessarily trying to make a specific statement.
No, it's definitely not.
Everything seems to have just been added because it felt like a good idea at the specific time where he thought of it. Like that's it. Yeah. That's literally the thing. And, you can kind of like chronicle what he did if you look at his Twitter or his Instagram, and like over time, I just for fun I was looking through it. Like what is the launch trailer is so good, and. Literally at one point, and I think it was like a few months ago, he was like decided to add boring capitalism to my CEO hunting game. Like that's just like that's how we decided on it. It's like and then you can sell body parts.
Gravity of life is unbearable.
It's like Taylor says, like I don't think it has like a message, but it also does. Like it like says things like you just saw. It's like life is unbearing. Like living under capitalism is sucking the life out of me. Like I don't know what to do anymore. I'm just a bunch of electrons spinning here. Like I don't know what to do. I'm depressed. Like it's a very acute, like depressing telling of like how people feel after COVID. Like seeing how everything kind of unraveled. It's like a very good example of that.
This is the kind of game that somehow, in some weird way, like Hypnospace Outlaw did, will end up on the Switch in one of their indie showcases. And you'll be like, how the fuck did that end up on the Switch?
It's gonna get a limited run physical release.
Yes.
Like some sort of weird.
What makes it different? Stefan he just posted that question. Everything makes it different. I mean, like, you can piece together things where games have done certain parts of the gameplay similarly, but like, I don't know, it is unquestionably unique.
Yeah.
Oh, from the Daikatana reference.
It's like.
I don't think there's ego behind it either. That's a major.
Yeah. It's like there's something. It feels good to play. It feels good to shoot. It feels good to explore levels and figure out ways to like.
I was gonna say
beat it.
The FPS portion of the game is super clean. Like what every gun does just by looking at it, typically. And if you can't tell by looking at it. Because there are some guns that are really fucking weird. But if you can't figure it out by looking at it, you're going to figure it out first time you shoot it, which is like, that's everything that you can ask for from gunplay perspective. Yeah. But like the AI is just dumb enough that they are basically, they are this weird mix of how do I describe this? The AI is in generally like the rabid nest of rats where individually they are completely harmless and you will mow them down every single time, but if you let 4 of them get next to you, you will die every time. You will always die.
It's that, and he throws in civilians in there too, so like you're mowing down people and you're just killing random like humans, but then you run up to them and you eat them because you have to. Like you have to eat them to harvest their organs to sell on the stock market to make money to upgrade your body. Like,
and at first you're like, shit, I'm not gonna kill the civilians. And then what happens after you beat a level is that it tells you how many enemies you killed and how many civilians you killed, and it doesn't matter. It changes nothing about how the level goes. Or about how the game proceeds, or at least as far as I can tell, it has absolutely no bearing on what happens. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And it does this thing.
Happy was an asshole about this game.
Yeah, and Jaffe hates it for whatever reason. Yeah, it does everything I want from a game where it gives you a sandbox and it lets you play. It's like, dude, here, go have fun,
just
figure it out. Like I've stacked trash cans on top of each other to build stairs to get to places because I was like, I want to do that, and it lets me do it. And that's great. It's so fun being able to figure out the fastest way to get through a level, the most like unoptimal way to get through a place, like just finding secrets, finding like these little nuggets of like lore that he puts in there. Like you'll walk through like a hall that's empty, you just hear a random ass noise in your left ear. You're like, what the fuck is that? You'll never know what it is. It's just there and it's creepy as shit. And you just keep running. Like the game messes with your brain in some cool ways that I love, and it messes with your eyes, obviously, by showing this like grotesque art. It's like, hey, like here's his face, and he's going blah, 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 talking at you, and he's like saying you're a piece of shit, and you're just like all these noises like it's just like it like hurts your brain, but you're just like, I gotta figure out what's going on.
I was doing one of the levels, and yeah, the sound is just like it can be really off-putting. And I was trying to figure out what it was, and then I realized it was supposed to be a giant television, and then that was just the sound coming off the television, and it was extremely settling to figure out what the fuck was producing the sound. I was very happy to realize that it wasn't something like mysterious in the environment anymore. But yeah, it's like you did kind of GoldenEye on an acid trip, and then except it plays beautifully and you can do anything that you want to in a level. And then you can eat people's organs and then sell them on stock market so that you can upgrade your weird biomutagen body. I don't know.
Nice.
It's just really truly bizarre, but also a lot of fun. It is a video game.
It's a video game. All right.
I love it because it's only a thing that can exist in this form. Like it'll never exist in anything else ever. Like there's no movie that'll come close to this. There's no book. There's no comic. There's no anything. Like this is a game, and it's an experience that is special. Like, and that's why I like talking about it, because I like pushing up art that I love, but I like pushing up things that are unique that I think people need to experience, because games as an art form is so beautiful. Like there's so many different ways, like so many different games, and then you have things like this every year that come up, like some random ass game that
you're like,
everyone thinks
what the
is
fuck?
stupid, but then it ends up being this huge like hit. And I think, I mean, obviously this is this year's hit.
Sure.
But it's just something that I think people need to experience. If it seems like your type of thing, definitely like 100% try it. But yeah, I love it. Like I remember my first time booting it up, and it just made me smile. Like it's just so my thing. It's so just like nasty and weird, and like
you just talk to all the NPCs that you can. It's just like it's just funny. It's so freaking weird, and
dude, it's funny.
The potato farming one is a great one. It's just like everybody. It's like they all know that they're in a dystopian future, but they also like are convinced that they're not. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, or if they know that they are there, but they're convinced that they're going to get themselves out of it. Except already in the first 1 hour of playing the game, you already know that there's like this shadow government, which is dictated that's completely impossible, and that is never going to happen for every single one of the people that exist. Talk to every single NPC that you can, because like a shit ton of them repeat. But then in this one where you get sent to kill the CEO, and actually you saw this was in the trailer, which is why I don't feel bad saying anything about it, is that he's literally in like some dark corner in a random room in the facility. And it's like, I was sent to kill the CEO. I've been trapped here for weeks. I've been like, and it's just like, I never thought that I was going to get out. And then you kick him and you eat his organs, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just that's the video.
Someone's here to rescue.
That's the video game.
There's this mall level. It's probably my favorite level in the game. It's a big ass mall.
I'm stuck on the mall over right now.
Dude, there's so many people you can talk to in there, and there's this there's this bot I follow that tweets quotes from the game. There's one I sent to Taylor today where the guy says, "No one cared who I was until I put on the mask. Haha. Oh my! I know it's plebeian, but I simply do love pop culture." Like it's so funny, dude. Like
so stupid.
Like some of these lines just made me like bust out laughing, like tears in my eyes. Like I've played it before, and my girlfriend would be playing games, and she'd be like, "What's wrong?" I'd be like, "I'm just like, this game is so funny." Like it's just like crying and like tears coming. Just it's an amazing piece of just like work that this one guy was able to do. And if you follow his private account, you can tell that this is just his like. This is just how he is. He's just a very like strange guy. Yeah, I would love to just talk to him, like to figure out, like pick his brain, because I know he's probably getting a bunch of people trying to be like, hey, we want to talk to you about this game, but like I just want to know what inspired it. Like what was the kick that made him go, I'm gonna make a game.
Shoot him that message, man. We'll get him on the show. He can talk about it.
I already did, so I'm just like
just waiting.
Nice.
So I really
want your permission.
Nice. Yeah.
I really want to talk to him.
The only last thing I'd say is that if you're not interested in playing Cruelty Squad, find that one friend that is, and then ask if you can watch them play it. Okay. Just so that you can get like a slight experience of it. And also it is the kind of thing where it's just like so much weird shit happens that it's kind of enjoyable to experience with another person.
Yeah. Now there's this one level where you go into people's houses and killing a bunch of rich people. And there's one guy who's a Funko Pop seller, and like his whole all his walls are like he's one of the people that you kill. Like all his walls are Funko Pops, and it's just like you walk in that room, you're like, oh, okay. So like, let me just kill this guy real fast. He's like, I'm the biggest Funko Pop seller online. And you kill him.
Funko Pop.
But yeah, that's my bit on Cruelty Squad. I don't think that I like it as much as Zach, but that I don't think that's necessarily saying anything bad.
Anything else you're playing?
No, that's it.
No?
That's more games. That's more games than I get in an average week, Dylan.
So just like Zuckerberg on a hydrofoil surfboard, we're done. Like it's over. Excellent.
How long have you been workshopping that one in your brain?
No, I named the podcast that already. I've been trying to find a way for the last hour and 40 minutes to fit it in, and I did. So thank you.
Should have just named it the CEO mindset.
With that was a great show. It's always fun talking to you guys. We got this done in just under 2 hours.
Hey,
just kidding.
Record.
Just kidding. We're just kidding. I was trying to say just under 1 hour, but I screwed that up. Hey, it was good to talk to you, Taylor. Thanks for hopping on again.
Oh, a pleasure as always.
JJ, thanks for being with us.
Absolutely.
Zach, thank you for your awesome love of video games. And thank you, America, for 245 years.
Yeah.
With that, you can find us at SideQuesting. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, all the viewers and listeners and watchers and commenters. SideQuesting.com. Thank you, Tony Hawk. Thank you, our Lord and Savior, Tony Hawk. SideQuesting TV over on Twitch, SideQuesting at YouTube, and SideQuesting. I think I said SideQuesting.com. Everywhere else, we're SideQuesting. We love you all. We'll see you in the next episode of The Side Quest. Toodles.